several of the Democratic candidates, as well as the lone independent that is currently running to fight in the Los Angeles mayoral race, got into a debate and were asked, should illegal immigrants be allowed to vote in local elections? Pratt said no. He's the independent running. Bass said it depends. Bass said it depends. And then Rahman said it depends. So not even a straight answer, right down the barrel, super easy. Hey, here you go. Answer, quick policy, quick answers, that kind of a thing. Instead, we got really goofy garbage. It depends stuff. Voters don't want it. They're not looking for it. Even in the big cities, Democrat voters are not looking for everyone but them to be given that kind of treatment. They're just not. They're not looking for it. And actually, we do have that clip ready to roll here. Here you go.
This is a yes or no question and answer. So there's an LA council member. He wants voters to decide. He is saying that non-citizens, should they be allowed to vote in local elections? Is this a yes or no, Mr. Pratt?
No.
Mayor Bass?
It depends. It's not a yes or no.
Depends on what?
Well, first of all, when you say non-citizens, it doesn't mean they're here illegal. It doesn't mean they're undocumented. They could have green cards. They could be here perfectly legal. And there's a lot of states and cities that do that on very, very local elections.
But again, that's wild because they are a citizen of what is, Steve, another country. This ain't gonna fly.
We have to see what the councilman is proposing.
Councilmember Bremen.
Yeah, I would say, again, it does depend. In other places, school boards have non-citizens.
Yes or no?
Non-citizens who vote.
Mr. Pratt, I have a question for you. You told NBC News.
So check this out. Really cool thing here. Just kind of a neat tip here. Serving in the government is a privilege because you are to serve the citizens of the United States. You take an oath of office no matter where you are, no matter what office it is, whether it's dog catcher or president of these United States. And when you take that office, that oath, you are to defend the Constitution written to govern American citizens. The U.S. Constitution does not govern the affairs and the taxations and the levies of service of foreign immigrants who are not yet citizens of the United States, nor migrants nor tourists. Guys, this matters. This is very basic educational function here because as a citizen, not only do you have a list of privileges that you enjoy, but also a list of responsibilities, things that you have to pony up for if things get rough, things that give you a leg up from the rest of the world on. But as we have talked about before and have talked about for several times, the side of the aisle that instead of again arguing in favor of their constituents, instead of serving them, what we're seeing instead is one core argument. So whether it's Andre Carson or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or it's Zoran Mamdani or Ilhan Omar or Rashida Tlaib or Pramila Jayapal, there is one argument instead that is made that America, that here in this country, American citizens, they cannot do anything on their own. They don't have the ability. They don't have the skills. They can't build a great country. They can't actually go out and do great things on the world stage. They can't cure diseases. They can't push things forward technologically. They can't provide for their families and communities. And there's no way they could ever earn $1 billion. That's not even feasible. That's not possible. That's the argument that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, again, trying to reclaim her spotlight in this young progressive movement. Here's what she's trying to make the case. That, well, you could never do that. American citizens, they can't do anything.
There's a certain level of wealth and accumulation that is unearned, right? You can't earn.
Sorry, I'm going to make fun of this. Thank you very much for the 1990s video game sound effect there. Chuckles. Anyway.
$1 billion.
That's right.
You just can't earn that.
That's exactly correct.
You can.
You guys, you can earn $1 billion. You can. You can. There are people who have done so. I don't know how to tell you this, but those who were the wealthiest of the wealthy in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, all of their descendants currently are not super duper alley-ooper wealthy and everyone else is poor. The majority of large wealth holders in this country are in either the first or second generation of said ownership. In the billionaire class, it is in either the first or second generation ownership. It's just the objective data. and saying no one could earn that. No one could earn that. Again, this idea that individualism is bad. It's just not, it's not going to. American citizens, again, all through the country, Democrats say you can't go out and earn anything on your own. You can't build anything on your own. The mayor of Seattle says bye-bye to millionaires, billionaires, or 100,000-aires leaving Washington state. You've got Zoran Mamdani, saying, well, we'll just tax everybody to hell and gone, and who cares if we're out of money every 2 months? You have mayors and governors that are resigning because they're doing such a terrible job of governing over on the left. So what's going to be the driving motivation here? It's the second half of the argument. The second half of the argument is American citizens can do nothing. So what we need is collectivism from the Somalis and the Muslim communities from around the world and the immigration station to come in and fix the country through the warmth of collectivism. That is the argument that is being made. And again, please do not take my word for it. Here is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying exactly that.
There are very few real archetypes of, in my opinion, truly what America is all about. I think about the civil rights and voting rights movement and how Black Americans really created democracy in this country.
Right. That's exactly right.
How
Black Americans created democracy in this country. Okay. This is, again, the idea is that Americans never did anything. It was only those who were brought here, dragged here. Again, if you were an American who is white, then you've never done anything ever. In fact, you're the worst part of the entire country. I will remind you that it is the Union Army, which was not just the cast members of the movie Glory. No, it was a lot of white Northerners that went and fought the Civil War, that it was the abolition movement that included, by the way, a lot of evangelicals throughout the entire country that did absolutely everything to ensure and defend civil rights in this country. And yet, never a slight moment or not, it is all white people bad, and you need to be saved by collectivism and just unfettered mass migration.
they literally made something from nothing. It is just beyond me. I think about how
We know it's beyond you, sweetheart. We get that.
Native people have survived and preserved and treasured their culture.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's enough of that. As someone who is a registered member of the Cherokee tribe, not like Elizabeth Warren, a substantial actual amount of the real kind of Cherokee blood, not Pow Wow Chow, not white girl on Instagram, like the real kind. I would like to say two things. First of all, the idea that Native American culture is some magical special thing, it's not. It's not. Sorry. A lot of Native American culture was raping and pillaging other tribes, just like every cultural group on this planet has done since the beginning. You hear this around the Mount Rushmore thing. That's actually the Black Hills tribe. They are owners of that land. No. 380 years? I have the history books on the shelf behind me regarding this. The Blackfoot tribe, Black Hills. Before they owned that land, 380 years prior, they raped and pillaged and killed and stole that land from a different tribe and from a different tribe and from a different tribe. Also, the idea that American culture that has been created, again, from a primarily Anglo, a primarily Grecian, mixed with a Mediterranean culture that has been brought over and cultivated in the United States, and by the way, primarily through a Protestant work ethic that has governed this country, that is in fact a very great and fantastic culture. Other cultures are not special because you're in a culture where the majority is the culture you see around you. No. So I'm just to make that very, very clear right up front, sorry, as someone who actually gets to pull that card, I would like to say that you don't get to speak for me and the idea that we need to start doing this little culture stacking garbage. Absolutely not. That's the argument. That's what the entire thing is about. And because there are all of these disparate little magical color groups in the United States, this means they all need their own special super duper voting district, unless you're white. In that case, then screw you. Or if you're Jewish, screw you. Or if you're Asian, screw you. Sorry, we need a lot of majority Hispanic districts and majority black voting districts. Because after all, black and brown people, whatever that means, they all think the same. That brings us over to the latest redistricting stuff, including the setting on fire flags, tug of war. I mean, no, really. People playing tug of war, climbing up on desks, and acting, I mean, just a little loopy in the Tennessee State House. We're going to talk about that. Beautiful, beautiful behavior on display in the state of Tennessee. So again, after the Supreme Court of the United States ruled, hey, you can't racially segregate voting districts anymore. And then people like AOC went outside of a parking lot, got on their knees, and cried big, huge crocodile tears. Which is impressive because you and I both know that AOC is not literate enough to read the entire Supreme Court opinion. Anywho, the Supreme Court ruling you can't racially segregate means a lot of states are now saying, gee whiz, we have all of these essentially redlined districts where people were said, oh, they're black, they'll vote all the same. And then we're allowed to draw racial voting districts in the state instead of based on cultural lines or based on economic lines or based on regional lines. So a lot of states are currently going through that rectification process. This brings us over to Tennessee. As you might recall, Tennessee, as of yesterday, had all but one of its districts red. The blue district that you see, if you're on the live stream, sorry for those on the radio, this is a great time to hop over to youtube.com/dailysignal and catch the show live with us. The little over there, the Memphis pocket, that being the blue. Well, Governor Bill Lee, friend of the show, signed into office today. The bill passed by the House and the Senate, and now Tennessee is going to be redistricted into an all red map that you see on the bottom. And this made a lot of those on the left very, 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 very upset. So first and foremost, one Democrat, a state Senate, decided now is the time to climb up on the desk and start yelling and shouting and carrying on. Nice little bit of yelling, acting like fools, being crazy, being stupid, you know, just normal state level Democrat things. Exciting. So a little tug of war as well. Then we get over to Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson, who decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get out there and threaten some Tennessee State Police, even though I'm violating the law. Now, as a reminder, if a black man calls a white man boy, it is fine. If a white man calls a black man boy, the SPLC will either fund the rally for your defense or send the cops to your house. Radio crew will catch you guys on the flip side. It's the Tony Kinnett Cast. We're going to continue on the live stream. You guys take care. So again, we have totally rational and normal behavior.
What is wrong with you?
Excellent. Normal behavior. Exciting stuff. We had the usual rally style nonsense screaming, no means no, which, I mean, good to see him getting out there and protesting former Representative Eric Swalwell. Normal, rational people acting like normal, rational individuals. Amazing. And by the way, in the meantime of all of this, Barack Obama was going on a big interview talking about how we need to return to calm, rational nonsense, as though he didn't gaslight and encourage every single little bit of this. But that's not all. Then you had State Representative Justin Jones. He got out and just set fire to a printer paper Confederate flag, like the Confederate battle flag or something. Just performative nonsense to the max. Here you go. Stunning. Brave. And of course, you have a bunch of fat, middle-aged white women. I'm sorry, was that uncouth? You have a bunch of fat, middle-aged white women on the left that are cheering him on. Yes, he's brave. My family won't talk to me. Like that kind of crap. Yeah, so as many have pointed out, I certainly won't be the first. Either he brought and printed out, like he printed out a picture of the Confederate battle flag to come burn, Or someone brought him and was like, excuse me, sir, I know how you feel about this. Would you like this? We were printing them off at Kinko's this morning. We were like, what flag would he like to set fire to? And then he grabbed the local crackhead from Speedway's Bic lighter, and then presto, he set fire to, oh, he's so brave and stunning. And the argument that they're making is that Republicans are being racist by removing racially segregated voting districts. So you might be thinking, wow, this Memphis voting district that they're all so, worked up about, I bet there's like a really great civil rights hero black guy or gal who's currently the representative of that district. No, it's this white dude, Representative Cohen. This greasy old white dude is, you see him munching on some KFC there. That's who's being replaced. By the way, who is he up against? A black woman running as a Republican. Oh, it's not actually about representation by color. It's just rigging things along racial lines. Oh, got it. Thank you very much, Dems, for making that explicitly clear. Now, the next pinpoint here, the next pressure point is going to be South Carolina. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm hearing from a very, very real in my ear right now individual of my team. I forgot to show you that one Tennessee representative got barked at like a dog by another Tennessee representative. I think it might have been Justin Jones or Pearson or the third out of the three. There's like a weird, really gay trio among them. He was really, really mad that one Tennessee state rep, I suppose, wore a Trump flag like a cape. Political theater is all sides. You guys know that I hate it, but you have to laugh at it or you'll cry. Here you go. So you have Captain Dreads here. He's got his blue blazer on, and I can't help but notice that the man should probably be wearing a 44 or 46, and the lady at the counter gave him a 38. He's wearing Pee Wee Herman's blazer. The thing is buttoned up tighter than a bouncer at the night at the Roxbury. Anyway, the last time I saw a blazer that small, it was on Will Ferrell. And he was bobbing his head to the left while they sang What Is Love, okay? And of course, they're all chanting racist. Yeah. How dare you give the black woman a better chance of winning the election than the greasy old white dude munching KFC? How dare you? They're just screaming and angry. Just, the left-wing Karens that